My name is Mohammed Nur Hussain. I'm the National Chairman of the United African Congress, an African organization based in New York. Before I go to the question, I just want to commend the conveners of this forum for really helping to promote dialogue and understanding. And that understanding has been enhanced today by the lucid presentation of the panelists here. My question for either Ambassador Duale or Ambassador Sheen is that the current transitional government seems to hold some promise for a peaceful solution to problems, as it seems to be willing to negotiate and talk with other factions. And however, the recent developments, especially with the battles that have been going on with the Shabab has been gaining some ground on the transitional government's forces. And more ominously, there have been reports that there has been a re-entry of Ethiopian forces into the conflict. My question for either one of you is, what does this hold for the future of this transitional government? Is it going to go the way of the previous transitional governments? And the other question that was briefly touched upon by Ambassador Sheen is the issue of the regional intervention in the conflict. While we know Ethiopia's intervention, little is said about the role that the Isaias regime in Eritrea plays vis-a-vis support of Shabab and the other groups.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we only have time for 2 more questions, but the panelists will be available after the talk to respond to questions. So I apologize to everyone, but we are actually running over time at the moment.
Well, I just wanted to first thank the wonderful lady who put together this evening, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. As a Somali, it's really highly due that we could all be in this room and talk about a very complex situation. And, you know, the first solution to anything, any conflict, is you can have an honest dialogue. So thank you all for being here. Ambassador Duale, I wanted to say salam alaikum. And as a representative of Somalia, I'm a product of what's happened in Somalia, having lost a lot of family, a lot of them being displaced around the world, having to have made home for myself in America. And it's been 20 years that I've kind of sat on the sideline, very frustrated Somali. And I do agree with you, Ambassador Sheen. It really is about time this process has to be resolved by Somalis. It was started by Somalis. And the Somalia that I remember as a youngster, we were very rational, very, very proud people. And I think, and you know, situations in Somalia that I remember as a youngster was settled by meeting with elders and having tea. Maybe that's what we should go back to, instead of having, you know, quite a bit of foreigners and a lot of other influences being involved in the Somali situation. So I would like to see that happen, so that there could be a Somalia that we could all go back to.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abdul Gogi. I know Bruni was mentioning about this today. I have a question for the ambassador and also the representative from the AU. Now, the northern part of Somalia, Somaliland and Puntland, have experienced a lot of calm amidst all this chaos. Do you believe that that region should be recognized by the international community as states?
Thank you. Really quick, please.
My name is Ramatu Ahmed, and I'm really concerned about the concept, the topic that we are discussing, and I wish we could have some of the members from the Security Council who will be here to answer some of the questions that we have. My question goes to my sister Margaret regarding the Security Council at the United Nations. I don't know, maybe it has changed. We don't have a representative. The African continent doesn't have a representative at the Security Council level at the United Nations, right? Yeah, we are not. We don't have a representative. We don't sit on the council. So since we are not a representative at the Security Council, how do we pass over our problems? How do they see our problems, and how do they enforce the policies that will reflect African Security Council on the continent? And don't you see that the disengagement of the government and the people at the bottom is always the cause of this unrest in the continent of Africa? I see that to happen in Somalia. The people at the grassroots are kind of left out from the beginning, and therefore there is kind of revolution from the people at the grassroots. So I think we have to start engaging the people from the grassroots and the people at the higher level. So there's a gap there, and we have to bridge the gap. The disengagement is creating the war and those piracy that we are talking about. It's poverty that is creating the piracy. The people have been fought for so long, and the only way they can fight and let people hear their voices is through unrest and chaos, crimes at that level of piracy. So I think we have to revisit our focus on African continent and the people, especially the youth, who are more affected in the economy of the continent. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That'll be our last question for the night. And please, I encourage you to talk to the panelists after. They will be over there. So please address your final questions to them, because we are, yes, definitely over time right now. So please go ahead and respond, and then we'll address other questions after. Okay, we'll have the last one.
I've got two things to say very quickly. One is thank you to the organizers for doing this, and thank you everybody for standing up and being excellent. But the bit that's missing is the Somali people. Not the Somali government, not the UN, not the US facility. It's the people's situation here is totally missing. Somaliland seems to have done a very, very good job building on very old-fashioned Somali tradition. And, you know, that seems to me to be something very important in the dialogue.
Thank you.
To follow up, my name is Asiatu Diallo. Thank you very much for all of your comments. I would also like to know, particularly from Ms. Iman, your views on what women's role is in this current government and in the future, of how their involvement will be in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.